Just like my brow on this very, very hot day, the small EV race or the starter EV race is beginning to heat up because you have Proton, the QVE, we have Tiki Wuling Bingo, and then we have this, arguably the most important car to launch from Proton and in the small EV race, the Proton eMAS 5. The price is right, we know it has independent suspension, we know it has rear-wheel drive, but is it any fun? Launched at the very tail end of October, just 11-ish months after the eMAS 7 kicked off Proton's EV experiment, the eMAS 5 can be yours for as little as 56,800 ringgit for the Prime or 69,800 ringgit for the Premium. That's after a 3,000 ringgit rebate, by the way, which lasts until the end of the year. Key differences between the two variants: for your extra 13,000 ringgit, the eMAS 5 Premium, most importantly, gets a larger battery at 40 kilowatt hours, 10 kilowatt hours more than the Prime, yielding up to 325 kilometers of WLTP range. Power and torque rises from 79 PS and 113 Newton meters to 116 PS and 150 Newton meters. There's also a difference in DC charging speeds, 53 kilowatts versus 71 kilowatts, but DC charging time remains the same for both variants. At the visual level, the Premium upgrades the Prime's 15-inch steel wheels with hubcaps to 16-inch alloy wheels. Halogen headlights gets upgraded to LEDs, and the latter also gets two-tone exterior with a black roof. Inside, not that there's much to separate them unless you get the Premium with either the marble cream or quartz rose exterior color, in which case you can get the alabaster white interior as an option. Also massively important is the safety features. While both come with 6 airbags and the Prime does have things like blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, the Premium gets the full ADAS suite with AEB and all the rest, alongside a 360-degree camera system over just a simple reversing camera. This, or models like the eMAS 5, in my opinion, are the perfect end state for EVs. Compact but fairly fun and inexpensive city runabouts. More of this, please. But what do we think of its looks? This is very much like a very inoffensive, softly styled EV. The contours are very soft. This color I like, but I do like the lavender color of that car. But you do get 16-inch wheels up front over here, wearing Linglong tires. You know exactly what this car would look like if you remove the camo, because this car has been kind of out already as the Geely Jingyuan or Star Wish in China. And this, I expected them to change, because I think this is a characteristic little design flourish, you know, Star Wish, you know, you see what I mean? Star Wish, Geely Star Wish. I thought they would put like something more Malaysian, like a Malaysian motif over here, but they haven't. But I can't really complain. I don't really care about that either. In the back, you have Proton script, very large, eMAS 5 logo, very large. And look at this. This is actually a class exclusive, because no other car in this segment as an EV has a power boot. And this opens up to a very commodious low floor. You can fold the seats down, obviously. Even the Atto 2 doesn't have a power boot. Okay, onto the front. Well, first of all, I'm gonna open the Frunk. And this thing does have a Frunk, because uniquely as well, this is a rear-wheel drive EV. So I won't test whether I can do donuts in this car, because this is hosted by Proton today, so I'm gonna be polite. You can open up the front to reveal a 70-liter Frunk, which is really big. Even for a larger size EV, this Frunk is really practical and such a unique feature in this class. Atto 2 doesn't have it, eMAS 7 doesn't have it. Well, a lot of cars don't have a Frunk, even if they are rear-wheel drive. So, very practical car. You know the weird part? There's an Atto 2 parked just ahead of me over there for us media to compare the two cars, right? And I want to compare, because I wasn't driving that car too long ago, so I can kind of remember what the general impression was with that car's interior versus this car. And honestly, I think that Atto 2 does edge it out a little bit in terms of overall fit and finish. But this car, especially with this white interior, this two-tone interior, what are we gonna do to get this over the black interior? I say get it. It'll be nicer to look at. It'll be better on a hot day like today. You have black interior, it's going to be so hot, it just feels more claustrophobic. It just adds more airiness to the cabin. Definitely get this interior. It just elevates the aura of the cabin so much. But in terms of fit and finish, everything is, you know, really well screwed in here. And even if you don't go around poking at everything and trying to make things crack and creak and squeal, it does feel like it's a well put together car. This feels more expensive because primarily of this two-tone interior. You also get a 14.6-inch screen, which is way bigger than you get in the Atto 2. I think that was like 13 inches. The software here I much prefer as well because it is actually really well designed. It's the same system that you could find in the eMAS 7. It has Bahasa Malaysia and English voice command. This doesn't have a wireless charger up front. This little area over here your phone can live in, but it won't charge. But you do have more storage area down here. These seats, nice as they are and comfortable as they are perforated, alluding to the fact that it might have ventilation, but it doesn't. I wish it had on this very hot day, but it doesn't. You also don't get any kind of like meaningful physical controls. Everything is pretty much done on screen. The steering wheel is very much like the eMAS 7. It's kind of like this, you know, squished circle shape. It's nice. It's got a flat bottom. The only downside with this kind of interior is that, well, you get smudges everywhere. It's a white interior, so you got to keep it clean. Cup holders in between here, a little slot. I guess your phone can live here too if you really wanted it to do. Center cubby, very big, very commodious. Let's move to the back. This is where you can push the front seats all the way to the back. And look, I still have a decent amount of space for my legs. The thing is about the front seats is that while you do get a power boot, which is kind of like a segment first among all the competitors in this class, you don't get powered seats. So you have to move all of them, including the passenger and driver, manually. But spaciousness, not a factor in this car. Headroom is really good. If you're over 6 feet, maybe the tips of your hair will hit the ceiling, but not much else. Air conditioning vents, you get that in the Atto 2 as well. You also, like the Atto 2, get USB-C. Oh, sorry, look at this, USB-A. You get 2 USB slots, I think, in Atto 2, versus 1 in the back of the eMAS 5, but you do get some storage below that. A lot of space, to be honest, for the door card in the back seats. Really surprised about that. You don't get an armrest either, so that point goes to the Atto 2. This car has 116 PS and 115 Newton meters of torque. Is it 100? Maybe about 8 point something seconds. It does feel actually quite quick, more so than I would expect with that figure. In here, it does feel pretty smooth. Refinement is really good, but that's probably because I'm in an EV. There's no squeaks, there's no rattles. Everything feels really well put together. Yeah, pretty positive so far. Now is the figure 8. So this car has a turning radius of 4.95 meters only. And, you know, this car is, what, the second rear-wheel drive Proton ever after the Juara, I think. Yeah, the turning radius is insanely good. Really, really tight, more so than any other car, I think, that I've experienced. Because these cones, you can't really see it on the camera, but it's really close together. And I can just almost do a tank turn around them. It's pretty insane. Okay, handling with this car, there is no, as far as I know, no tuning package for the Malaysian market, but it does get, you know, some really good hardware upgrades, some hardware ingredients that are gonna be putting it in good stead against the other cheaper, you know, more affordable EVs in the market. It has independent suspension all around, okay, front and rear. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not super aggressive, it's not super sharp, but you can be pretty confident where this thing is pointing. Not bad. Yeah, you know what? I might just keep it on sport mode because if I'm not so concerned about, you know, hypermiling this car, the extra aggressiveness with the throttle pedal is kind of fun. It makes this car a little bit more, gives it a bit more edge. With the range of this car, off the brake, you don't really need, you leave most cars, you know, at the lights, at least until around 60, 80 kph, around there. Now, highway driving, I am not so sure. 100 right there. Wind noise, really well controlled actually. Road noise, also really well controlled. I can hear wind noise picking up right now, 115 kilometers per hour. But then again, it's an EV. You will hear wind noise. All you need now is a good set of speakers to play your stuff, to play your music, and then you'll be under every illusion that you're in a more expensive car than you are. Even though this is technically a beginner, a starter, an entry-level EV. But from where I'm sitting, you don't really feel that. But this thing will live in town for sure. This is your car you can take to pick up your kids, go to work and back, all those things. The commute, perfect car for it. So what do we think, guys, of the eMAS 5? My favorite color, by the way, this lavender, whatever they call it. Look, it drives pretty well. I don't even think it needs like a special handling tuning package from Proton because it drives really well. The ingredients are really quite there because it has a low center of gravity, it has rear-wheel drive, it has independent suspension. If you're going to work, if you're going to school, if you're going to visit your friends or family, this is really pretty perfect. It can fit people comfortably, small size, can park it easily, super efficient, and it's just kind of likable, to be honest. Among all the small EVs that I've seen so far, I think this is a hard, I don't know, package to walk away from. But what do you guys think of the Proton eMAS 5, Malaysia's least expensive EV so far? Let us know in the comments.